Hello everyone, it's Laffy Traffy. Alright, so we are here with a video finally. Sorry about the lack of content lately. It has just been crazy with the holidays and everything, but we'll get back on board. But I wanted to make sure to thank everyone for 1,000 subscribers. Crazy year we've had, and I made it before the deadline, a self-imposed deadline of January 2nd or 3rd, which is when I posted my first video on YouTube. And it is the manga versus anime series. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's still in the works. I haven't forgotten about it. We're still doing it. It's just been a while. It's a lot. But we made it to 1,000, so thank you everyone so much. And as I said with my 100 subscribers special, maybe I'll do a top 10 best girl videos. Get me to 1,000 subscribers and I'll give a top 10 best girls. I wanted to do a best girls video for my 1,000 subscriber special. So here we are. We're gonna talk about the best girls of One Piece. There's a lot of them, but we're gonna talk about my top 10. But before we get into it, I want to do a special shout out to Emoti for donating to the stream and passing the threshold of the donation award to get a shout out in a video. So here's a shout out. But thank you to everyone who donated as well for my charity stream a few days ago, and thank you for just watching it and sharing it or whatever else you did with it, but it meant a lot and it's a project that means a lot to me. So if you haven't yet and you have a spare $1 or $2, you know, feel free to go donate. It's gone till January 1st, so there's still time. Now, without further ado, we need to get into the business at hand. Top 10 best girls of One Piece. Alright, so starting off, the bottom of my top 10 is Pudding, Charlotte Pudding. I really enjoyed Pudding's character throughout the majority of Whole Cake Island, and especially when she was outed as a betrayer. It really gave me even more interest into her character. Later then, seeing her backstory of how she was bullied and mistreated as a child because of her third eye, and then seeing how now, like Katakuri, that past of not being accepted as who she was really kind of goes into her current situation where she is just attempting to be the best daughter for Big Mom, trying to be the perfect everything, perfect sister, perfect daughter, perfect chef. There was a lot that goes into her, and you can see the depth of her character when she tries to be really evil to Sanji, but then when he calls her beautiful with her third eye, you could see her true feelings trying to break out, and that causes kind of a intense dichotomy there when she has a split personality throughout the arc then thereafter, where she's hating Sanji and trying to keep up that facade of perfect Big Mom daughter, but then the other side of her is really grateful to Sanji to show her what it could have been like for people to just accept her how she is. So it's really, she's just adorable, and I really enjoyed her throughout Whole Cake Island, and I like her dynamic with Sanji himself. It's clear that beyond that protective defense mechanism that she has, she's a really sweet and caring and kind person, and she just wants to be loved for who she is. So Pudding is definitely on my top 10 list. Next, we go on to Baby 5. I just adore Baby 5, honestly. She debuted as a badass with a really awesome devil fruit power that she could manipulate her body into any weapon, so that immediately caught my attention, and then seeing the depth of her flaws as a character were really interesting, that she, you know, everyone has sad backstories in One Piece, so it's gonna be a little repetitive here mentioning them, but her backstory of being abandoned by her own mother and not being needed transferred to her current personality of desperately wanting someone to need her and trying to help anyone that she can, and she's often taken advantage of because of that trait. But then we see that she ends up with Sai, which it was actually really funny that they are ending up getting married now after they had a one-on-one in Dressrosa, but it makes me hopeful that she'll be part of the story later on when the Grand Fleet makes their appearance once more, because she's connected with Sai now. I think we're definitely going to get her more in the story, so I just love Baby 5. It's just one of those things that I just love her. Now, Viola is next on my list, and she's just one of my favorite characters of the Dressrosa story arc. including the aforementioned Baby 5. As a member of the royal family, she did what she had to survive, and she joined the Don Quixote pirates in order for her father, King Riku, to survive as well, and she bowed down and obeyed and played her part well enough that she was able to join them and fight for them. But of course, underneath it all, she was waiting for the select few people who might be able to get her country back to its rightful ruler. Similar to Pudding, I really enjoyed her and Sanji's connection, where he was able, again like Pudding, to bring out her true feelings to the forefront, and he convinced her that he was going to help her, and although she fought it a bit, she eventually saw that the Straw Hats were here to save her country, and then she put her life on the line. She got away from the Don Quixote pirates and faced the demon Don Quixote do Flamingo himself. I 100% prefer her to Rebecca. And spoiler alert, Rebecca's not on this list, but you know, we'll hold back on that tangent. But overall, I just really like Viola. She's really feisty and she is brave, but she also does whatever she needs to do to save her country. Now, next up at number 7 is Komurasaki, the most beautiful and elegant woman of Wano. And when she was revealed her true identity to be Hiyori, the daughter of Odin, her character just got that much deeper. She hid amongst the elites of Wano to secretly monitor the situation with Orochi, and then possibly one day help Denjiro, one of her many benefactors of the scabbards of Odin, to someday take Orochi down. And their plan kind of went as planned, but you know, with the Straw Hats and everything, she was there helping Zoro. She gave her sword to Zoro, so she was desperate to save her country as well, and you could see that she was a very defiant woman as well. One of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite scene up to this point, of Hiyori is where she slaps Orochi, stands her ground in front of him and says, "I bow down to no one, I base myself in front of no one, I am the daughter of a samurai. If you want a weak and obedient woman, that's not me." So right away, she caught my attention as being a super powerful person, and she looks amazing too, the most beautiful one of Wano. And now with her reappearance in the manga of last chapter, a few chapters ago actually, I'm excited to see what she has in store for Orochi as she faces him in the basement, and I really hope that her and Denjiro are able to take out Orochi once and for all. Number 6. The Snake Princess. Boa Hancock is of course on my list of best girls, and the one thing that's keeping her from a little bit of a higher position is she doesn't have the greatest personality, but what puts her on my list at all is that we haven't quite seen that personality in a while now, so I have it in my head, you know, that Luffy changed her and was able to show her that not all men are awful, because as we go through Boa's backstory, we definitely see why she treats men with the vehement animosity that she does, is because her sheltered upbringing mixed with her kidnapping as a child definitely only allowed her to see the despicable and corrupt side of man. Regardless, she protects her country in whatever way that she deems necessary. She is super, super powerful. I know it's not canon, but I just love the scene where she goes up against Bullet. Whoa boy, that got me going. But she cares for her country, and she cares for her sisters, and she cares for Luffy, and she put her life on the line and her status on the line to save him. I know she was in love, all that thing. I like her, and I'm really interested to see how her and Kobe clash. Who would be the victor there, because, I don't know, power scaling alert, I think she should clap Kobe. To be honest. But Kobe has been training a lot in the background, so maybe it'll be more of an equal fight. I'm just interested how that will turn out. Will she be captured, or will she escape, or will she defeat Kobe? I'm excited to see her now that the warlords are no longer a thing. So yeah, she's a powerful badass, and she is number 6 on my list. Now we start my top 5 countdown, and it was really difficult, you know, all these ladies are super great. But starting off my top 5 list, we go with Vivi. I'll admit that while watching the Alabasta arc in the anime, There were moments where Vivi wasn't my favorite and whatever, but looking back on it and now seeing her current position in the story, I love Vivi, and you know, I always saw her as a Straw Hat, of course, and those emotional moments of her desperately trying to save her country. Her biggest goal was to be a just and fair and perfect leader for her people, and she was willing to fight anyone and everyone who was in her way, including Luffy, to get to that goal. So just her bravery to join Baroque Works, to go undercover, and then the desperation to save her people and protect her friends, her newly acquainted friends of the Straw Hats. She's just really a great character, and so I look forward to seeing her more in the story as we go in with the Reverie. Something happened with her and Cobra and Sabo. I want to see what all is happening with that, and I'm just looking forward to seeing her more in the story in the future. Number 4, we have Koala. Now, Koala might seem out of left field, but I just adore Koala so much. It's weird. I don't know why. It's like a Baby 5 thing, where they don't play a big role in the series, but nonetheless, there's just something about their characters that I just adore. And one big reason is because of her adorable relationship with Sabo. Yes, I ship it, who doesn't? But other reasons go into her backstory of, again, the sad backstory of being a slave from the Celestial Dragons, and then befriending the fishmen who saved her, and then taking up their fighting style. And we don't know much between the moment of her reuniting with her mother thanks to Fisher Tiger and her gaining her position in the revolutionaries, but it's clear that her past with the world government and the corruption that lies there, that's what brought her to that point. She's just an awesome character, and she's, you know, she's the right hand of the second in command of the revolutionary armies, so that is really impressive, as well as her super unique fighting style of fishman karate. She has a great character design, she cares for her friends, for Sabo, and she always just has a very positive outlook on everything that's going on, so I just love Koala, and she is my number 4. Now, number 3, Yamato. Yamato is amazing, and I'm not going to get into the gender arguments here. From my perspective, they are Yamato. They identify as Odin for potentially misplaced reasons, and it wasn't outright stated that Yamato identifies as male in their Viver card made by Oda, so Yamato is gonna be on my list because I just can't not give Yamato the love that they deserve, because Yamato is a beast, and I just love everything about their character, and especially their fight with Kaido. That really just emphasized just how badass they really are. I'm not gonna lie, Yamato almost beat out the second place here, and that's saying something, but Yamato is just, they're my favorite character in this arc right now, and I am really interested to see how them identifying as Odin is going to be solved at the end, what kind of arc they're going through right now as they're fighting as Odin, for Odin, and all the scabbards are here fighting against Kaido. There's so much going on right there, and their character depth is impressive. And, you know, they also have a great devil fruit, they're super ambitious, you know, we saw their backstory, again, the sad backstory of being completely isolated and deprived of any allies amongst Kaido's men. And even through the years and years of isolation in that manner, Yamato constantly fought against that isolation and was always seeking those few out who would ally themselves with them and take down Kaido. I'm definitely excited to see where Yamato ends up post-Wano, you know, and I just hope that they sail on the Straw Hats ship, regardless of crew status. They don't necessarily have to be a member of the Straw Hats, but I think, similar to Odin, I think Yamato will sail with the Straw Hats, and I'm just hoping that they do, so yeah. And now, before I go into number 1 and number 2 of my best girls, I wanted to do a few honorary mentions. Unfortunately, Carrot wasn't on my list. I know she's awesome, hashtag not a furry, but she didn't quite make the list. I really enjoyed Carrot in Whole Cake Island and the Sulong form, but overall her character is not quite meshing with me right now, so she didn't make it on the list. And then, you know, of course, Tashigi, Reiju, Nojiko, all great listers that made it close to my list but did not make the cut. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go into my number 2 pick. Close call, but it's Nami. Not wanting to start a riot, but Nami's not my number 1. She's still at the top nonetheless, and with Nami, I enjoyed her a lot more in the pre-time skip era. I mean, pre-time skip One Piece in general was a lot better, in my opinion, with the characters and their personalities and the humor, but she just showcased her skills as a navigator and cartographer a lot more. But that's not to say that I don't like her now, because her bravery when it comes to defending her friends, like when she fought the army with Luffy for Sanji in Whole Cake Island, or when she went up against Ulti and would not give in that Luffy would not become king of the pirates. Even when faced with death, you know, it's clear that Nami has come a long way from where she was back in the East Blue. She's super intelligent, really creative with her weather knowledge and her powers. Now that she has the power up with Zeus, I'm really excited to see how she goes forward, what her power level is. But overall, you know, there's a few things that keep her at my number 2 spot. You know, she's a little bossy and a little immature, but going into my number 1 selection, maturity is not a question, because we have Nico Robin as my number 1 best girl of One Piece. Robin's mature personality and morbid humor is definitely what keeps her at my number 1 spot. She's not only extremely vital to One Piece as the plot, but she also wants to learn of the ancient kingdom, the void century, all of these really selfless desires of her that she just wants to share with the rest of the world. It's really an admirable goal that she has, and she is really desperate to do it, but she's also just her personality of wanting to sacrifice herself for her friends back in Eni's lobby, to going undercover throughout Wano and doing everything that she can to make sure that everyone succeeds around her. She's brave, intelligent, snarky, insightful. Overall, a really, really amazing character, and Robin has always been my number 1 choice as best girl. Her devil fruit is amazing, and she has showcased that she can get pretty creative with it with the most recent Demonio Fleur. She's my number 1 best girl. That's all I can say. So that wraps up my top 10 best girls of One Piece. It was a close call for a lot of them. Similar with my top 10 favorite characters, it fluctuates a lot, but I just wanted to throw out my ideas for here, and once again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. This is my 1,000 subscriber special, on our way to 2,000 subscribers now. Thank you everyone for the support, it means a lot, and it's been a really enjoyable year. And also Merry Christmas to those who celebrate, Happy Holidays, Happy Winter, Happy Summer, everyone around the globe. There's a lot. Here's Winter Beppo, and I appreciate all of you. Again, and as always, have a great day, follow your dreams, and check me next time. Bye! Man, what is recording a video? It has been so long.